Today we're going to talk about two things that are exactly the opposite of each other, and that is the sound floor and the sound ceiling. Now, my experience, guitarists are concerned at first about being able to play loudly enough. So, me being um, that tends to be what we work on in terms of our technique as to how to play loudly. Um, and I will say that it seems to me that what I experienced was that playing loudly develops your technique faster, um, because in order to play loud and have a good sound, you have to be contacting the strings in an efficient manner. Now I could be wrong, but that's what worked for me. So we're going to take the old tried and true source study number one from the Segovia series, the Segovia book. Now you could do this with any piece. You could do it with anything. It really doesn't matter. So if you're not at that level yet, just pick something that you're working on, and do it with scales. You can do it with scales in one respect, which we'll probably cover that in a minute. So let's say we take the first part of this Estudio number one, and you just play the thing as loudly as you possibly can. And I would rephrase that to say as loudly as your guitar can handle, right? Because you could play your guitar so loud it would just you play beyond. You could put in enough force where you would play beyond what your guitar can really do for you. So you just play your guitar as loudly as you can, as it will go. So here we go. Okay, so not pretty, but you know it does give you the volume that you will need. It gives you a balance. Everything is loud. Everything is loud. So that tends to be what we work on. Now, the realization though is you have to also establish the floor. So, if you don't have enough volume on the top end, the level that you can give to the audience is smaller, right? So you got to get the top volume, your loud volume, so it's really as loud as you can go. You got to establish this up here. But usually we fail to experience or work on the bottom. So we're going to make that as soft as possible. So your range of volume becomes something that you can really work with and you can demonstrate to the audience. So now we're going to play the same thing again, and we're going to play as soft as possible. Now, when I say that, the rule is, again, you have to be able to hear it. Your audience doesn't, but you have to be able to hear it. You must hear what you're doing. So if you just miss a note because you're trying to play so soft, then you need to work on that. So here we go. This is as soft as possible. Okay, so that's as soft as I can possibly play that. And the other aspect of that is, like the really loud playing at your top volume, all the notes have to be the same volume. So I think the real challenge of playing really softly is there's a tendency to miss notes because you're trying to play soft and you just don't bring it out. So once you're able to do that, excuse me, and I think you should do that with just about every single piece you work on a little bit, realizing that you want to be a multi-dynamic level player. And that means you're certainly playing the dynamics, but also, for instance, in this piece, in the first measure, your bass line goes just like that. However, the top notes are just this. Okay, it's just that. There's no movement. The movement, in my mind, the thing that has to happen is when there's a crescendo from a piano to whatever you get it up to, that applies to the notes that are moving. So this would be done like this. So you're keeping the supporting harmony, which is in the top, at a lower level than you're playing the bottom level. I mean, so you're kind of a multi-level player. So you're going to work with both sides of the hand. Anyway, probably more than we really want to get into, but the benefit is if you've ever heard a player who plays with an extreme dynamic range that they've learned to do, it's really a wonderful thing to hear. So, work on some pieces. Work on playing as loudly as possible and then as soft as possible, and see how much of range you can actually get. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.